record on this computer, and I'm going to share this presentation with you. Okay, so welcome to the masterclass on human vibrational energy and its relevance to our times. I hope everyone can hear me and can see my screen. So I'm going to quickly give an overview of what we're going to cover tonight in this class. First of all, what is human vibrational energy? If we're going to talk about it, we have to describe what it is. Second, how is it measured? Third, why is it important? Why is it so relevant to our times? 8 areas that influence our vibration. And finally, I'm going to talk to you about Vibration Summit that I'm launching very soon. And the class will last for 40 minutes, and I'm going to leave 20 minutes for Q&A. So Nikola Tesla once said that to find the secrets to the universe, you have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Humans, just like anything else that has life on Earth, including the planet, has an electromagnetic field that vibrates at a certain frequency. And I think everybody in elementary school learned this, but what they didn't teach us is that everything in the universe has this field, but in our case, that field is influenced by our emotions. So we are energetic beings. 70% of our body is composed of water, and that is the same percentage that Earth has. Earth is also 70% water. And we have different energy chakras or energy centers, what they call energy centers in the body. And the most commonly known are the 7 energy centers called the chakras, but we have more: our hands, our feet, and other chakras that aren't considered. And vibration is the real way we relate to all life on Earth, to all life in the universe. And everybody, I think, knows that, but what they didn't teach us is that our thoughts influence our emotions, and our emotions influence our vibration, and our vibration tells us a clear picture of the level of consciousness that we are at. So let me give you a quick example. If you think a negative thought, that negative thought could become an emotion, and an emotion could lower your frequency, and your frequency influences the way you relate to everything else around you. And what is constant in your emotion, if you're feeling a certain emotion during a long period of time, for example, weeks or months or even years, that can tell you the level of consciousness at which you are at the moment. So what is the level of consciousness? In case you haven't heard of him before, there's a doctor that was an investigator, a philosopher, a doctor, MD, and PhD. His name is David R. Hawkins. And he lived from 1927 to 2012. And in 2006, he published a book called Transcending the Levels of Consciousness. And in this book, he shared a scale that helps us understand the level of consciousness at which we are at. So let me go through this graph, which I think is very good to understand the level at which we are at. So the scale starts at 0. 0 is death. So no one can be at 0. But it goes from 0 to 1,000. And each level is the level related to an emotion and to a level of consciousness. So the lowest level of consciousness is shame, then guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. And up to this point is what they called the lower ego self. The whole scale from 0 to 1,000 is broken up into 3 blocks, 3 general blocks. The first block is from 200 below. This is what he calls, or what they call, the hell or purgatory, and where society is in general. Humans are stuck between a frequency below 200, and you can see it clearly that people are usually in a victim size perspective or in an abuser size perspective. And then from 200 to about 400 or 440 is the next level of consciousness. This is called the 4th dimension, and this is also called self-empowerment. You in this level of consciousness, you stop suffering all of these emotions that have society stuck. You stop to feel them so often. Now, there's something important to notice about this scale, is that it's not whether you feel certain grief once in a while, or fear once in a while, or desire once in a while. It's the permanent state at which you are at, and including, you could be born into a permanent state, or you could be born into a family that's in a permanent state like that. There's families that the whole family is angry. There's families that the whole family lives in fear and schizophrenia, and they're very scared that something might happen. And there's other families that you visit their house and they're always happy, and you don't understand why. Something happens that the whole family is always cheerful, they're always laughing, and they're at another level of consciousness. And then above 440, from 440 to 1,000, is a 3rd level of consciousness. This is called self-realization. It's very rare where someone is in this this area of the scale that feels these lower frequency emotions. It's very, very rare. Now, if you're at the 2nd level, you could feel these emotions, but it's not as frequent as someone living in the lower side. Now, the good thing about all this is that humanity, they measured humanity's level of consciousness, and it measured at 204. And they realized that in 1988, it did a little jump. We ascended from 190, that you can see in the scale is right in the border between 3rd dimension and 4th dimension. We jumped. So this means that humanity is evolving. Now, let me share with you a quick video.
Exactly is the scale of consciousness. The scale of consciousness is a map created by physician and psychiatrist Dr. David R. Hawkins that assigns a numerical value to every human emotion. Enlightenment sits on the very top with a value of 1,000, and shame at the bottom with a value of 20. According to Dr. Hawkins, everything that physically or energetically exists whether it's a person, an object, an idea, or a belief, vibrates somewhere on this scale. And how high up something is on the scale determines how far it has come in the evolution of humanity, whether it has attained enlightenment, whether it's still stuck in a fearful survival mode, or whether it's somewhere in between. Dr. Hawkins' creation of the scale of consciousness began back in the late 70s, when he started running experiments in the subject of behavioral kinesiology. Behavioral kinesiology hypothesizes that a person's muscles will automatically react in different ways in the presence of good and bad stimuli. According to this theory, a person's muscles will significantly strengthen when exposed to good objects like educational books, good ideas like equality, good emotions like love, and even good people who embody positive traits. On the flip side, a person's muscles would noticeably weaken when exposed to bad objects, ideas, emotions, or people. For example, cigarettes, racism, fear, or con artists. The implications of this theory were fascinating, that we can intuitively tell the positive from the negative, that we are somehow subconsciously linked to a form of higher intelligence, just like how a fish swimming at one edge of a school will instinctively turn when its peer a quarter-mile away flees from a predator. Armed with this knowledge, Dr. Hawkins began to dive deeper into this startling human ability and devise a powerful new function for behavioral kinesiology. What if our bodies could also tell us the truth about the objects, people, ideas, and teachings around us?
Okay, so this gives you a good idea of how it's measured. So it's measured with muscle. It's called muscle testing, and frequently I've been asked if these numbers are hertz or something related to energy. It's not. It's a scale that Dr. Hawkins gave, and he asked his test group to see if it was accurate. So he would ask, what is the correct number of shame? Is it 40? And the muscles would react somehow until he got the perfect number for each one. And it's a scale that's really helpful for humanity nowadays. So let me show you this scale from another perspective. So if you see if the first part of the scale on the left side is the fear, anger, guilt, shame side of the scale. And I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Masuro Emoto's research. He tested putting a word in water and then froze the water and took pictures of the crystals that were formed. This is an amazing experiment because he, with intention, the intention of the word could affect form. So with our thoughts, we have an intention, and with the intention, form is affected, form is changed. So look at the scale, and you can see the same scale of Dr. Hawkins with the water, and as you evolve in the scale, you can learn that you can see the crystals that are formed that are different, and it's the higher up the crystals are more beautiful. See, someone vibrating in the level of consciousness of 500 affects positively 750,000 people. So if we can understand that our thoughts affect our emotions and our feelings affect our electromagnetic field, and our field is affecting others all of the time, then that's a completely different way of viewing life, because that prevents us from thinking that we are isolated from the world, that we are disconnected, and that anything that we do to ourselves can only affect ourselves. That is completely not true. If we are doing something to ourselves, we are affecting others. And if others do something to themselves, they are affecting us. And we can also use this knowledge to help others. that are sick, that are suffering, because with our positive vibrational energy, with our frequency of above 200, we can positively affect others that are going through fear, anger, shame, or those lower vibrational energies. Now that you know this information, I want you to look at the current state of our world, the current state of our planet. We are constantly stressed. We are sick. We are listening to bad news all the time, and we are really concerned. Most of us are really concerned, up to the point where we don't want to hear anymore about the situation of the planet. So let me explain something really quick that's fundamental to understanding vibration. There is a defense mechanism in our body called the fight or flight response that Walter Cannon discovered in 1920. And it is a response that the human body has to react rapidly. And what it does, it uses the energy, it shifts the energy from your field. It shifts away from your intuitive mind, from your digestive system, and from your immune system. And it brings all the energy, the blood, and the attention to your reptile side of your brain, to your extremes of your body, to your legs, to your arms, so that you can run fast or fight or hide. And this is really effective, and we wouldn't have survived as a species if we didn't have this mechanism. But today we don't face as many dangers as we did before, and we still respond automatically to fears that might not be real. And the problem with this is that this mechanism gets activated, but it really easy, but it's not that easy to get out of that mechanism. So to get out of that mechanism, you need to do intuitive work. You need to send signals to the body that you are okay, that you are out of danger, and that you can start the process of healing, the chemistry of healing. And so this has to do with the story that we've been telling ourselves about ourselves. We've been telling ourselves that we have to live in fear, that we have to be anxious to be productive, that we have to, that we are isolated from the rest of the world. And this is just simply not true. We are evolving as a species, and we are fastly learning that we have been fooled to the human beings that we think we are. And there's a reason for that. There was a clear intention of control. And if you look at the scale of the levels of consciousness, all of the problems of humanity that we see today, all of them were created with a lower level of consciousness. So from fear, you create fear. From ego, you create control. From anxiety. And today, the future doesn't look good for humanity. And we are losing biodiversity, massive extinctions, forest depletion, coral reef loss, soil erosion, drought, fires, etc. This is at the planetary level. At the social level, there's inequality, poverty, water scarcity, food scarcity, wars, etc. And at the individual level, we are extremely sick. We are scared, we are stressed, we are obese, we are depressed, we are anxious. There's chronic diseases, malnutrition, and all of this was created by a model that's destructive, a model created by a lower frequency of vibration, of a level of consciousness at which we were at when we created this model. So we have to create a new model from another level of consciousness. And this at least gives me hope, because I know that that at a level, at the next level of consciousness, humanity will not only create a better model for ourselves, but our vibrational energy will heal, will physically heal all of the problems facing humanity today. So if you don't believe that, just think of it this way. If our bodies are able to heal ourselves with intention, then we are able to heal, we are able to change the form of water with intention. Then we are able to change our body's health with intention. Then that means that our collective intention can heal the planet. So for those of you who don't know me, I have been concerned about the planet for many, many years. Not many, many years, but many years, at least 12. And I have evolved in my answers that I have found. And I started with reductionism, then evolved to recycling, then to reuse, then to the technical solutions that are fantastic, but not enough, like solar panels, saving water, urban solutions, etc. Then understanding systemic solutions, solving one problem with another field, and then understanding that everything is connected and that we have to see the whole picture. And finally, from an ecological point of view, where humans are part of nature, we are Earth, and we are considered in the picture of the problem. To finally, I discovered that it wasn't an environmental crisis that we are living. We are actually living a spiritual crisis. And once I discovered that we are living a spiritual crisis, I have been advocating and spreading the word so that we can look at what is that spiritual crisis, until I discovered this scale. And this scale of consciousness gave me hope, because now I know that we are in the brinks, in that edge of shifting our level. It is a battle that we are fighting between continuing listening to our brain that has evolved to take care of us. That's why it's constantly on fear, because it is telling us that fear is coming, which is great when fear is actually coming, but it's not so great when there is no fear and there's an illusion of fear. That's why recently made discoveries by HeartMath and by other institutions that are working with the heart's intelligence have realized that the heart is actually smarter than the brain. And there is actually more information going from the brain, from the heart to the brain, than from the brain to the heart. So I think that in this jump of evolutionary or spiritual evolution of humanity, we have to let go of that old model. We have to let go of that model that created all of the problems that we are facing right now. Environmental problems, health problems, social problems, individual problems. They are all based on a model of fear, guilt, shame, anger. And we can easily, individually shift and get out of it, because human beings are the only beings on the planet, that can willingly choose what emotion they are feeling. So you can choose what thoughts are predominating in your mind, and that will result in the emotions, and that emotions will result in your field, and your field will result in the way you relate to the world. your vibrational energy is the only way you relate to the world. So it is extremely important to understand this for our times. Now, the level of consciousness that I showed you from from Dr. Hawkins has evolved, and this scale, I want you to take a quick look at it and try to identify where are you at. Are you at a level of 100? Are you constantly in fear, fighting, anxious? Do you think that I only survive if you don't survive? Is your percentage of happiness 10%? Or are you more evolved? Are you at a level of courage where you want to push through and you want to help out others, and you are a leader? Or you are neutral? This level of consciousness, neutrality is actually not at 0. Neutrality is above 200. So I'm going to share all of these charts so that you can study them a little further and read about this. I highly recommend reading this book from Dr. Hawkins. And this scale helps us a lot, because at the individual level, I think every one of us is responsible for evolving ourselves. We have to start by taking a conscious look, an aware look at where we are at. And that is very easy to do. You just have to pay attention at what is the predominant emotion that you are feeling constantly every day. Is it fear? Is it guilt? Is it anger? Is it desire? What is it? And once you acknowledge that and you see that, then you can willingly shift that. You can willingly choose not to be in that stuck emotion. Because the marvelous thing about humans is that you can observe that this is happening and shift it from inside out. That's why it is actually not nonsense when people tell you to think positive thoughts, because thinking positive thoughts shifts your energy, and shifting your energy is what you attract into your life. If you choose to see the beauty in life, if you choose to see the good in people, that's the energy that you will be at, and that is what you will be attracting into your life. So let me share with you a quick story. There is a person that teaches spirituality and meditation, and he's a close friend, and he is definitely at a level of love. He is definitely at a vibrational state of 500. And he tells a story that he was in a bus, and the bus was robbed. There was 2 people that came into the bus and robbed all of the bus one by one. And when they reached him, they skipped him. They did not see him. And that is because he wasn't at the vibrational energy of fear. Because you see, robbers, abusers, and victims are at the same level. And they look for each other, they look for that energy, and they find each other. That's why some people that are always scared that they're going to be robbed, they're always robbed. And that's why people that are never scared never get robbed. That's because the matching frequencies. So let me tell you the 8 areas that help you to elevate your vibration, so that you acknowledge what areas in your life can help you to vibrate at a higher level. So the first one that is extremely important is nutrition. See, food has a vibration, and it's our first link to earth. It is our closest link to relationship to earth. And if we are constantly choosing to eat processed foods, red meat, and supermarket food that is not organic, that lowers our vibration automatically. So I highly recommend that you stop seeing all the organic movement as a fad or it's not. It is extremely important that we start eating organic, local, fresh, fruits, vegetables, and a plant-based diet. The second is meditation. It is really difficult to quiet the mind if you don't meditate. And meditation can seem like a huge word, and there is a lot of misbeliefs and myths about meditation, that it's not for you, that you don't have time, and all of this nonsense. It is nonsense, because meditation simply means putting attention, and it is easy to bring awareness to what you put attention at. And today we live in an era where we are so communicated, so full of these tools that help us to learn how to meditate really easy. I will teach a very simple meditation that we will do at the end of this class, to see that you can do a simple 3-minute, 2-minute meditation every day that will help you calm the mind and start building in this heart intelligence and helping your vibration. Third is forgiveness. Forgiveness has to do with resentment. If you are resentful for something someone did to you, that resentment is an energy stuck in your body. If that energy is stuck in your body, you cannot evolve to a higher level of frequency. That is keeping you stuck. It's like an anchor that is keeping you stuck. You have to let go of that grief. You have to let go of that resentment, of that anger. And the only way to do that is to forgive, to truly forgive from your heart, that you will no longer hold grudge to what happened. And a good technique to do that is to view it from their eyes. There is a quote that I like a lot that says, hurt people hurt people. And if you see it from their eyes, maybe they hurt you because they are hurt. So that helps forgive. Once you forgive, it is easy to higher your vibration. The fourth is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest levels of vibration. It is at the level of around 800. And it's not that you are going to jump to a level of 500 all the time, but if you honestly feel gratitude in your heart, you are inviting that energy into your life, and that energy starts to heal and to release lower vibrational energies that are stuck in your body. Similar to gratitude, they go hand in hand, is appreciation. If you're appreciative, you can be thankful. If you're thankful, it's because you appreciate. So being appreciative of a beautiful piece of artwork, of a sunset, of a sunrise, of a plant, of a flower, of a plate setting, of food, of a gesture, of anything, that higher your vibration. Appreciation is one of the best methods as a daily practice, as a daily habit to have in your life. The sixth is to bring awareness to your relationships. Bring awareness to the way you are relating to others. And this includes all life, how you relate to your plants, how you relate to animals, how you relate to other colleagues in your work, how you relate to family members, how you relate to friends. Bringing awareness to how you are relating to other beings is an excellent way to higher your vibration. So if you're conscious that your thoughts affect your emotions affect your field, and your field is affecting others, if you raise your vibration, you're automatically doing something fantastic for others. So if someone is sad, if someone is at a lower level and you get close to them, it doesn't really matter how brilliant your speech is. It's a matter of how your vibrational energy is relating to his or hers. The seventh is love. Love is a vibrational energy of 500. The vibrational energy of 500 is some people that you might know are vibrating constantly at love. They love everything, they care for you, they care for your well-being, they are constantly concerned without draining their personal energy. And inviting this feeling into your life, inviting this feeling of love, you are inviting this vibrational energy. So let me explain something really quick. All of these frequencies are in the universe. They are all the time in the universe. When you willingly decide to feel that emotion, you are inviting that frequency into your life, into your field. So if you feel love, you are inviting love into your life, and you are attracting love into your life. Isn't that great? I mean, that's a great discovery to know right there. So be loving and kind to others, and that's what you will be attracting into your life. And I know it's not that easy, and sometimes you constantly face challenges because others refuse to be loving and caring. It doesn't matter. You have to hold your ground and try to feel these emotions most of the time, all of the during as many days as possible. Now, if ending this class you are really excited, and you want to willingly all the time be at a higher frequency and vibrate at a higher level and evolve in your level of consciousness, that's great. The only problem is that it's not that simple, because the lower frequencies are not that easy to eliminate. That's why there's a process that helps us uh, transition towards a higher level of consciousness. And the last one is connection to nature. Being in nature, being in contact with plants, with trees, with old growth trees is great to higher your frequency. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling those lower emotions, you can simply take a walk outside in the wood, and nature will help you elevate your vibration. Hug a tree, be in nature, lay down on earth, and that will definitely higher your vibration. And we are going to leave some time at the end for question and answers. But before, I want to share with you a project that I am launching. It's called Vibration Summit. Once I learned about this information, I wanted to share it with the world, because I think that the faster we evolve in the level of consciousness, the easier and faster we'll get out of this, all of the problems that we are facing humanity. And that's why I think it's so important that that we share this information as fast as possible. So I am launching a campaign, a crowdfunding campaign, to have enough funds to gather 25 experts in the field, and they are going to, I am going to interview them and talk about three general subjects. The first one is experts to talk about what is vibrational energy. What is it? The second block is to understand how to raise our vibration and how to keep it at a higher level. And the last one is what is the relationship to our environmental crisis, and can we actually prove with examples that we can reverse physical environmental damages that we are facing right now, like coral reef loss. So I am launching this campaign actually today, May 30th, and I am offering to whoever subscribes a 8-week course to higher your vibration that covers the 8 areas that I described before. So these areas of nutrition, meditation, gratitude, appreciation, love, each one of them, I'm going to go in this course in depth to discover how you can attract them into your life, make them part of your everyday life so that you can be permanently vibrating at a higher level. Finally, I want to share with everyone that I wish to try this out. So this is a hypothesis that we can reverse environmental degradation with love intention. So if I gather enough funds, I want to invite a group of people to do a love meditation dedicated for a coral reef, and to check if we can reverse the damage with just loving intention, loving intention, loving intention. So please join us. I hope you like this class. I hope that it was useful information for you in your life. And if you're curious and if you want to become a part of this movement, please contribute to our crowdfunding campaign. So finally, to close, I want to share a short meditation that that is really simple and that you can do it anytime to contact your heart intelligence. So I'm going to change to my camera view, and I'm going to give you the instructions so that we can all do this meditation together. So I want you to bring to mind something that makes you feel love in your heart. It can be a son, a daughter, a father, a friend, a pet, something that makes you feel love in your heart. Once you have it, you identify it, close your eyes, and I want you to picture a color. It can be any color that symbolizes the love that you feel in this heart, in your heart. And I want you to imagine that this color surrounds your heart. Now imagine that this light grows beyond your body, extends to your room, to your house, to your building, to your block, to your city, to your country, and to the entire planet Earth. Picture the planet Earth in front of you, surrounded by this light. You are sending love to everything that has life on Earth. And slowly, when you are ready, you can start coming back and open your eyes. That meditation took us 2 minutes. It's a meditation that you can practice anytime, any day. And I recommend that you practice it every day. It's 2 minutes of your time. So with this, I want to end this class and leave a few minutes for question and answers. I'm trying to, there we go. So if anyone wants to write a question in the chat, I can answer questions. Give me your thoughts.